Hey everyone, I wanted to walk you through how to take care of your succulents here in the summer and just kind of give you some ideas and some explanations because I've had some people asking me questions. So I just wanted to walk you through that real quick. The first one is watering, and I've had a lot of people question, and when you come here, you know I walk you through how to do it, but I just wanted to go over that. And basically, if you're doing this at home, you can do this out on your patio, or you can do it in the house, in the kitchen sink or whatever. But put your plants in, your succulents in, and let them set in there until you know that they have sucked up all of the water that they need. Okay, do not leave them setting in there. Okay, don't go back 3 days later and take them out. That's too long. So usually it'll take about 20 minutes for them to soak up the amount of water that they need, and then take them out, okay? And let them drain. And if this soil is moist, then you're in good shape, okay? And you'll see them, if they get really dry, they'll get kind of translucent looking, and then the water will allow them to, it'll take up the water, and they'll get turgid again, or plump. So that's what you're looking for, okay? And so watering is kind of a trick. Now, if you're doing it out on your patio and you're watering out there, you still need to have a drain pan. Put the drain pan under it, water them thoroughly, let that water stand for a few minutes, and then take the drain pan away. Do not leave the drain pan under succulents, okay? They do not like to have wet feet, and sometimes that happens with succulents, in that you leave them there and the feet by feet wet, I mean the roots getting moist and the moisture staying there, then you get root rot, and that's what most people kill succulents with, is too much water. Okay, and a fine mist is fine, or you can bottom water. It doesn't really matter that much with succulents. The only time it does matter is when you're fertilizing. Okay, and succulents are very easy to care for, so don't overdo this fertilizer either. So look at if you're using the granular fertilizer, okay, look at what it says to use per container. Most of your succulents are not going to need more than about a half a teaspoon, okay? And when you put them in, make sure it goes to the soil and not on the leaves, okay? And that's super important with succulents, because what happens is, if you have that fertilizer on the leaves and you don't water these again for another week, which is what my advice is, then that is setting on that leaf, and it'll draw moisture from the air, and that salt will literally burn a hole in the leaves of your succulent. So it's very, very important that you do not have that fertilizer on the leaves, okay? Or if you're using the liquid fertilizer, if you're using the liquid fertilizer and you're fertilizing your plants with that, the blue, and you can get green, it doesn't matter about the color, but that tells you that you have it in there. You fertilize it, okay? And I fertilized it. Now look what I did. All of this is on the leaves here. So what I need to do is I need to take my hose, let it soak in thoroughly, and then just very quickly, I'll use this so I don't have to get the hose, but very quickly backwash it with water so there's no salts on those leaves. And that is probably one of the biggest mistakes with fertilization with plants, is leaving that fertilizer on the leaves. It causes them to get burnt, okay? And so basically they need fertilizer, but only about once every 2 months. Succulents are very slow growing, so therefore they do not need to have a lot of fertilizer, as different from the houseplants, which we're going to talk about in a minute. Okay, so the next thing you do is you're going to get into, and I've had a lot of people say, well, my ghost plant stretched, okay? That is the nature of the beast, and it does that, okay? But it's easy fix. So what you're going to do is, in your garden or in your pot, you're going to take these and you're going to cut them back, just like that, okay? Cut them back. Now this one I would leave here because I have a little baby that's going to grow. So these will then put small plants will come at each one of these nodes. So don't be afraid to do that. Then take your other plant that you have, strip those leaves off, and y'all know you can lay those on top of the soil and make babies. And you can either do one of two things. You can take your ghost plant, cut the stem down, and put a finger or hole in there and run it back down in there, squeeze it around, and it'll root right in your same pot, okay? So you can keep those looking full. Don't let them get long and leggy and then you get disenchanted with them and that kind of thing. It's not your fault or the plant's fault. It's the nature of the beast. It's how they grow. So just keep that in mind, and you can take and cut them, put them back down in there, and in about 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, it'll start to root, okay? And so you've got a nice full plant again in comparison to this long leggy thing. Okay, and then also this summer, you're going to have some times when you need to, cut this baby back, okay? Go in there and cut him back. And all you're going to do is create it to be fuller and keep it that lush look, okay? A lot of you got string of bananas. Cut those string of bananas back. You can propagate them, give them to your friend, do whatever, so that that plant stays nice and full. Okay, succulents are easy if you keep on top of it and you just mess with them a little bit, and that's kind of the therapeutic part of it, okay, being able to work with them. You also get some, and this one I use just as an example, okay, and see how I let this go, okay, so it's super long now, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and cut these off right at the node, and this will be full and lush in about a month. Okay, so basically you're keeping these looking really tight and full, and they don't get the stretched out. So succulents are easy. Water them thoroughly and then let them go. Fertilize them every 2 months. Don't put the fertilizer on the leaves, okay? And with your pruning, don't be afraid to prune them back and take those other things and make lots and lots of babies, okay?